Have you ever noticed that some people become millionaires even though they never seem to earn the highest salaries, while others work harder, earn more, and still spend their entire lives worrying about money? Now, here's the strange part. The difference isn't intelligence, it isn't luck, and it isn't where they were born. The real difference exists inside their mind, because every millionaire develops a completely different psychology long before they ever become rich. In fact, if you gave $1 million to the average person today, there's a surprisingly high chance they would lose most of it. Not because they were careless, but because they never learned how a millionaire thinks. Now imagine the opposite. Take away every dollar from a real millionaire. Years later, many of them would quietly build their fortune all over again. Why? Because wealth doesn't begin in your bank account. It begins inside your mind. Today, we're going to uncover the hidden psychology that separates millionaires from everyone else. And once you understand it, you'll never think about money the same way again. Let's begin with two people. Both are 25 years old. Both earn exactly the same salary. Both dream of becoming wealthy. And both believe, if I just make more money, my life will change. But over the next 10 years, their lives move in completely different directions. The first person sees every paycheck as permission to spend. A better phone, a newer car, a bigger apartment, a more expensive lifestyle. Every raise becomes another reason to buy something new. Now look at the second person. They receive the exact same paycheck, but before spending a single dollar, they ask themselves one question. Will this make me richer or just look richer? That one question completely changes their future, because millionaires don't judge purchases by their price. They judge them by their return. Every dollar has a mission. Either it creates more money or it quietly disappears forever. And this is the first psychological shift. Average people see money as something to enjoy. Millionaires see money as something to deploy. It may sound like a small difference, but over 10 years, it becomes the difference between financial stress and financial freedom. But here's where millionaire psychology becomes truly different. Millionaires don't chase money, they chase value. Think about it. The average person asks, how much will I get paid? A millionaire asks, how much value can I create? Because they understand something. The market doesn't reward effort, it rewards value. Two people can work equally hard. One earns $40,000 a year. The other earns $4 million. The difference isn't how exhausted they are. It's how valuable their skills, ideas, or businesses become. That's why millionaires invest in themselves long before they invest in stocks. They read books, learn new skills, study successful people, improve how they communicate, learn how businesses work, because they know the greatest investment isn't in the stock market. It's in the person looking back at them in the mirror. And once your value increases, money starts following you, instead of you spending your entire life chasing money. Now here's the biggest mistake. Most people believe millionaires take bigger risks, but that's not true. Millionaires don't love risk, they hate unnecessary risk. What they actually do is reduce uncertainty before making a decision. Before investing, they study. Before starting a business, they learn. Before making a move, they gather information. While everyone else is waiting for the perfect time, millionaires are quietly preparing, because they know confidence doesn't come from luck, it comes from preparation. This is why when an opportunity finally appears, most people hesitate, they overthink, they doubt themselves, and they watch someone else take the chance. A millionaire sees the exact same opportunity, but they're ready, not because they're smarter, but because they've been preparing long before the opportunity arrived. That's the psychology most people never notice. Millionaires don't react faster, they prepare earlier. And in the long run, preparation almost always beats talent. But perhaps the most powerful difference of all is how millionaires think about the future. The average person asks, "What do I want today?" A millionaire asks, "What will matter 10 years from now?" That's why most people spend money to feel successful. Millionaires build assets to become successful. One chooses instant comfort. The other chooses lasting freedom. And here's the strange part. From the outside, the millionaire's life often looks boring. No flashy purchases, no constant upgrades, no need to impress anyone, because they understand something. The people trying hardest to look rich are often the ones who can least afford it. Real wealth is usually quiet. It doesn't need attention. It doesn't need approval. It simply keeps growing year after year. Millionaires know that every small decision is casting a vote for the person they'll become in the future. And that's why they don't build wealth overnight. They build it decision by decision. So, what is the real psychology of millionaires? It's not about making more money. It's not about having a higher IQ. And it certainly isn't about luck. It's about thinking differently long before the results appear. Millionaires understand that money is only a tool. The real asset is the mind controlling that tool. Because if you change your income without changing your mindset, you'll eventually lose the money. But if you change your mindset first, your income will eventually catch up. That's why some people become wealthy again and again, while others keep starting over. So the next time you see a millionaire, don't ask how much money do they have. Ask yourself, how do they think? Because the answer to that question could completely change the rest of your life. Remember, every millionaire you admire today was once completely unknown. The difference wasn't where they started. The difference was the decisions they made when nobody was watching. Your future isn't created by one lucky moment. It's created by the way you think every single day. And maybe your journey to becoming wealthy doesn't begin with your first $1 million. Maybe it begins today with your very next decision.